she is adding water to that planter right around the back. No one will ever even see it. You'll put this on the back of the planter. And then what ends up happening is, with new technology, it is going to flash a light when it's time to water it. So now the most common problem of watering plants, indoors and outside, is truly, am I overwatering? Am I underwatering? You never have to worry about it again. So this is the back, and obviously we want you to see because it's really cool technology. But when it's in your home or it's on your deck, you'll only ever see this. And then you're gonna check. And when this starts blinking, which this is, it means we need water in here. Let me take you through the colors. Oh, this is really pretty. It didn't look like this at midnight. I'm just complimenting our guest here. I think this is a great way to see it. Wow, I love this. Okay, let me take you through the colors. You are going to get both of these for 4 easy payments of $17.50. They should be $53 a piece. We're essentially doing them for $35 a piece. It is a great value. This is the beautiful putty. So this matches back to some of the Bernini planters. It's so beautiful, kind of like this ivory color. Here's your light brown. It is not really beige, it's not really gray. It's a great mix of both. And remember, that water sensor sits right in the back. Right here, here's the green. The green is a really lovely sage color. We also have it in black that John Yiser, our guest, made for his daughter. To me, these look like almost they've been made out of wrought iron, which would be very hard in a planter. It'd be so heavy, but look how pretty it looks when you get that look with Firmastone. Here's your terracotta. Classically beautiful, so elegant. The burgundy is stunning, and if you can see in the inside, we'll show you, but it looks like marble on the inside. And then I kicked this off last night at midnight, and all of you were freaking out over the cobalt blue. It continues to be wildly popular. We're gonna get to those Roberta's hydrangeas in just a minute, which, by the way, will fit right into those planters. But first, let's say hi to John Yiser from Bernini. Okay, I feel like I just went into the garden center of my dreams.
Didn't that look pretty?
It's so pretty. The problem with plants that most people who say, I can't grow a plant or I kill everything, is because they either underwater.
Correct.
Or even worse, overwater.
Overwater, correct, but no more. This is a worry-free planter. So a long time ago, I had invented, back when I was 18, my first invention was for my mom. She said, I kept forgetting to water the plant. So I came up with a device to remind me to water the plants. 30-something years later, now I've invented the newest way to be able to do it. It's a smart self-watering planter. Now what we're doing right here is, right now you can see this light is blinking. So it's telling us, hey, it's time to add some water. So you never have to worry about underwatering, because it's gonna tell you. Now all that's gonna happen right here is, if you take this out, you're gonna take your watering can, because it's time to add water, and you're gonna add it into the fill spout right here. Just fill it all the way up. You cannot overwater, so you fill it all the way till this is full. Over 1.5 quarts of water will fill up in here. Plenty of time, because you don't have to worry about evaporation, because we're filling from the bottom up. Now what happens is, I'm gonna show everyone, I'm gonna pull the front, we just have a cutaway of this so you can see how it works. But what's happening is, the water tray right here is where the water goes. And as you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and rotate that just a little bit right here so you guys can see that. And there we go. And so what's happening right here is, you can see that the roots are diving deep down to be able to pick up the water. Once they get the water, the roots actually are diving down deep. It's deep root watering. You can see the dark soil. The water wicks up through here, grows your plants happy and healthy. Then when the water level drops, the light's going to blink, as you can see right here. And when it blinks, it says, hey, it's time to add water. Never worry about under or overwatering your plants again.
Gosh, it's so much better than sticking your finger in the soil. Go down an inch, see if it's dry enough. I'm not sure. That's even harder outside, especially for things like edibles, like your tomatoes, and that might need more water. What do we see here?
Okay, so basically what it's doing is, it's doing just what I had mentioned. The light's telling you, add water, we're out of water. So you add water. Put the sensor back in, and watch what's happening. The water's gonna wick up from the bottom. It's watering from the bottom up. Never water from the top now. You're gonna put it in the bottom. Watch. Naturally, the water wicks up through the soil. This is a part of physics in nature, that water will wick up from the bottom. That way it saturates the soil going all the way up, but at the right amount. Now, when the water level drops and it's saying, I need water, the light blinks, telling you to add water. So just keep adding water into your plant, keep it full. But if you ever forget, or you're on vacation, it's gonna let you know, don't forget, give me some water.
It's so cool, because if you do go away for a little while, or maybe you're just someone who's kind of forgetful, it will water your plants for you, and exactly the right amount.
Correct.
I don't always forget to water my plants. I'm just not always sure how much I'm watering. Different plants have different needs.
Correct.
This is perfect. In fact, I'm going to quickly show everybody the colors again, and then we're going to walk around and show them to you, give you some ideas of how these are going to work in your house, indoors and out. Here's your putty. You get both of them. I'm sorry, no. Yes, it's putty. Here's your putty. Here's your light brown, which has a beautiful gray undertone, so this can be for grays or browns. Here's your green. I love that green, John. Black is really so stunning.
And I got to remind everyone, all of these colors are exclusive to QVC. We made this just for QVC. This Firmastone planter is the first time to go from the fountains to the planters with the material that everyone has come to love, the Firmastone.
I want to ask you more about Firmastone in 1 second. Here's your terracotta. Gorgeous. That is the most beautiful terracotta planter I think I've ever seen. Here's your burgundy, and then down here, that cobalt blue, wildly popular. Firmastone. What is Firmastone?
Okay, so for years now, we've been making fountains, and we perfected it over the last several years with a material called Firmastone. This right here, if you bought one of our recent fountains, it's the highest rated material fountain we've ever had. We said, wait a minute, it's so durable, it's so beautiful in fountains, let's bring it to a planter. If you have one of our fountains, you're gonna love, there's color matching here, so you can match your planter to your fountain. If anyone has one of our fountains at home, I'd love to hear from someone if what they think of Firmastone, because now it's in the planter, and look how much fun we can have around actually looking at all of the different looks.
Now, I'm noticing that this is actually blinking, which means add water. That plant is getting too dry.
Yep, you add water, the blinking stops, and you're good to go.
You said something really interesting to me last night I just want to share. I was thinking, if I have these indoors, I'm probably going to turn that water sensor towards the wall.
Correct.
Because I just want the clean lines of the planter.
Absolutely.
But it will actually illuminate on my wall.
It will.
So if I'm walking by my planter, I'll be able to see on the wall a little light blinking.
Exactly.
Which is going to tell me it's time to...
Barbara King said, I love cobalt blue. She made this beautiful planter for us here. This is her design, but watch what happens. This is the way you can leave it, or you can rotate it around and have the sensor facing forward or backwards, but this light will blink when it's time to add water. You simply pull the sensor out, add water, and it's ready to go.
Awesome.
And if you leave it tilted to the back, it'll glow the back side of the wall, so you'll see it that way. Yes.
And then just spin it around.
Exactly.
All right, so let's start over here, actually. First and foremost, I know a lot of people bought tomato plants on QVC over the last couple of months, and they're going to be shipping out to you very shortly. Actually, ship weeks are open in some of our warmer zones. To grow a tomato plant, they are juicy. They require a lot of water. For a beginner gardener or someone who likes to maybe go away for the weekend and you're worried about getting your plants enough water, this is perfect.
Yes, it's because, again, it's a worry-free planter. What does that mean? That means you can't over or underwater it.
Like cucumbers as well.
Yes.
Beans, any kind of edible that you're going to grow in here will do better when it has the right amount of water.
Exactly, and you don't have to worry about the right amount of water because nature will do what it's supposed to do. It's going to wick the water from the bottom up.
This money plant's supposed to be beautiful in a house.
They are. And my wife was saying what she loved about it is that by having two planters, it makes a statement. So when you have two matching planters, you can make a statement anywhere around your house.
Either side of a front door.
Correct.
Back door. Well, actually, we'll show you in front of our front door here, but you're so right about having like symmetrical
It's
decorating.
much different than having just the one planter, two together. Now, again, as you can see with the lemon tree right here, or up on the
there's all the calla lilies. We present Roberta's calla lilies. We show you how you can plant them all in one container. If you picked up the calla lilies this year with the Roberta's Bounty, that's the perfect size, John.
It is, isn't it?
For that whole collection that we did with Steph Waline.
And I just rotated this around. The sensor's saying, hey, it's time to add water. It's blinking blue. I'm going to take the sensor out. I'm going to go ahead and add some water. Now, again, you don't have to worry about overwatering. Just fill it up. 1.5 quarts of water at the bottom. Just keep it topped off. You don't even have to let it go empty. The sensor's just designed to remind you not to forget.
This is so important, especially plants outside, John, because a lot of times with my annuals, they get...
The sensor now turned off. See, the light went off now because it's saying, I am full of water, I am happy.
Did you ever get plants that were so dry that even when you water them from the top, if you scratch the dirt is still dry underneath? Has that ever happened to you?
Correct.
Where like you can dig, you've poured water in, but the dirt is still dry because it's so dry it can't even take any water, it just runs out the side? That will never, ever happen with this. Cobalt is wildly popular right now. You can take a look at two cobalts right here.
Well, and again, statement pieces.
How pretty
look at
this
right here. When you have two, you can flank a door. You can put them outside.
Speaking of flanking a door, I'm going to walk across. Let's come take a look. Okay, this is really, really pretty. And the 15-inch size is the size you want for either side of a door.
It is.
It's not too small. It's a nice,
Correct.
Statement size.
It is, and this, because it's almost like the perfect universal size, because you can go from outside flanking the door, you can go from inside a setting, so it gives you that most universal size to be able to work around your house.
And you know, we love this because of that water sensor, which makes growing real plants so much easy. Takes away the biggest concern in my over or under watering, makes that point moot. However, if you're someone who has some great faux plants, some faux topiaries, the planters are so beautiful at this price, it's okay to stick faux in them too. You just won't use the water sensor.
Oh, exactly. And so what's happening here is she takes the sensor out, she adds in and puts it back in after she's added water. And again, the plant is nice and happy and healthy. Indoors, outdoors, they look amazing anywhere you go. You can rotate it so the sensor's to the back or the front, whichever you prefer. But we have this nice, beautiful look. Now, one of the things I was mentioning is Firmastone. So what is Firmastone? So Firmastone is actually made from soapstone. So instead of being just like a plastic planter that you've seen at the store, it's made of this rock hard. This soapstone is what is used to make, that sculptors have been using for years to make sculptures with.
Yeah, they make a lot of countertops with it.
Correct. And we actually blended it with the Bernini material to make this amazing material. Now, what does that mean when you get it at home? Okay, now, we all know what you get planters at home. You buy them at the big box stores, and what are they like? They might look pretty, but they're super cheap, flimsy.
I don't think
and as
that's
you can
that
see,
pretty,
yes.
honestly. I take that one.
And as you can see this, and they also break, they crack because they're super thin. Now, I want to show everyone.
Or you have ceramic ones that chip over the winter. These
yes,
will not chip.
Correct. Now, watch what happens when I put this on the scale. As you can see, it's barely a pound. Okay, now all I want everyone to see is it's so lightweight that it's flimsy. Now, when we take the Firmastone planter, I want everyone to see what's going to happen. It's a little over 3 pounds. Now, it's just the right amount of weight. Why? Because we wanted to make it heavy enough and durable enough to be as strong when you get it at home. Because if you look right now, I can't even flex that together, and I'm pushing as hard as I can right now.
But I don't want it as heavy as, say, like a ceramic planter at this size,
correct.
which would actually be very heavy.
Exactly correct. We want the
and
perfect weight is what it is. So this is designed to be the perfect weight.
Speaking of chipping, will this chip, will this peel, will the Firmastone color ever come off?
No.
The color goes right through, right?
The color is actually built into it. It's UV resistant, it's chip resistant, fade resistant. It's designed to be the perfect planter so you never have to worry again. And it's lightweight enough, but strong enough is what the goal is.
This is so cool. I'm going to show everybody the colors again. This is the putty, how pretty. And notice it matches. This fountain back here was our big deal fountain a month or so ago. We could not keep it in stock, so I know a lot of you watching right now picked up the big deal fountain on a Thursday just like this. So if you picked up, get matching planters. Here's the putty. We have it in the light brown. The green is gorgeous. And again, we're just showing you that sensor. If you don't like the look of the sensor, you just turn it around. But that sensor is going to let you know when it's time to water your plant. I think it's so genius. I love the black. Such a pretty decor color.
Especially with all the new styles that are out right now. The black just goes perfect.
Well, all that whole modern farmhouse, white houses with black trim. You see that so often. That's going to be so pretty. And lots of, you see, I see a lot of black front doors now. That would be gorgeous.
Exactly correct.
Here's your terracotta. So pretty. And you know what? Unlike other real terracotta, it does not chip. This is made with real stone, but you're never going to break this. This is the burgundy, so beautiful. And then most popular is that stunning cobalt blue.
And again, as the blue, Barbara King said, I love the blue. Here is the decoration that she did. She made an amazing creation for us. She does amazing work. And this is stunning. Now watch what happens. This is what it can look like out front. Now the sensor, what it comes with, watch what happens. This is what's gonna make it so you never have to worry about your plant again because it self-waters from the bottom up, and it's got a little sensor that says when that little water droplet blinks blue, it's saying time to add water.
Can we show the inside again so everyone understands how this works? So if you're someone who maybe you do a little traveling or you're afraid that your plants don't get enough water when you're away, or if you have them indoors and you're worried, should I water today, should I not? This makes the question of when and how much to water obsolete because this is a smart planter.
It is. And what it's doing right now is it's telling us, watch the water droplet. It says, hey, it's time to add water. All we're going to do is you just take the sensor out. And I'm going to show everyone how you put the batteries in 1 second. But watch this. I'm going to go ahead and add some water in here. Now, this is the water spout. Makes it super easy to add water to the bottom. Fill it right up to the top. You cannot overwater. The more water, the better. In fact, I just like leaving it topped off. And that when the sensor goes off, it's basically just telling me that I ran and out of water. Now, I'm going to pull this away. Now, this is just, we have this cutaway right here so you can see inside. But as you can see the water in here, that's where the water went. But you can see the dark soil around here. The dark soil is the water wicking up from the bottom, and the roots dive deep to get to that water, making them stronger, happier, healthy. And then
I feel like if you have any kids in your life, you should keep this for them, and they should do this as their science fair project to show how plants. Wouldn't this be like a great science fair project? But really, it's going to work so beautifully for you because you're never going to cut this planter open. In fact, you'd have a hard time doing so. It's Firmastone, but you benefit from this technology in that your plants are going to grow